Yes, people, you know what day it is. Welcome to We Are Tottenham TV. It is game day. It's the big one, the North London derby. And whilst the usual omens may not look good, the fact that we're playing in the morning, the fact that it's away at the Arsenal, and the fact that it's just, I don't know, a little bit nervy-gurvy, we're going to try and find a way to get your spirits up, get your confidence boosted as we try to find the mechanisms to take 3 points from the old enemy, the Arsenal. And joining me today in Dave, the Irish Hotspur's absence, is Brian from Tottenham on Tour and Bob Spur from Bob Spur TV. Brian is coming straight over from the 6 a.m. time zone.
Yep, it is 6 a.m. here. My alarm went off at 4:15, and I was like, what the hell am I doing up? And then it took me that split second to realise
it's game day.
It's not just game day. This is birthdays, Christmas, Hanukkah, every single holy festival that's a good thing in the world. Your birthdays, your anniversaries, everything all rolled into one. And I'm here at 6 a.m. outside the Scotland Yard. So big up to everyone around the world that is getting up at stupid o'clock or staying up stupid late to watch this. And it's the day of days. And the best thing about today is, you know, those things like the Loch Ness Monster is a once in a million thing, a leap year. Well, today is that day for me because Cody Mack is on his way to the Scotland Yard. It's something that happens once or twice a year, and I can't wait to see him.
Nice, mate. Just before I come on and say hi to Bobby, are you wearing the lucky shirt?
I've got my hoodie on because it's rather cold, but I can tell you underneath this shirt, let's see, you'll see there is the grey. The stain is there. It's on. It's a done deal. The shirt is on, mate. The shirt. Someone actually said to me on Twitter, do you know what, Brian? I feel a defeat coming or something. Maybe you should give the shirt a rest this day. And I was like, could you imagine if I didn't wear the shirt and we lost? The grief I would get. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Nice one, mate. Nice one. Well, hopefully it does bring us some lucky juju for the big one today. Bob Spur, my man, great to be back on the stream with you. It's been a hot minute, buddy. How you feeling?
Yeah, good, man. I've got stains on my undergarments as well, but won't go into that. Yeah, man, you know what? I was saying yesterday, the game doesn't have the same vibe or the same furore as previous derbies. Maybe it was because it's early on in the season and the international break. But I'll tell you, 6 o'clock this morning, got my... Am I still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still there, yeah. Yeah, 6 o'clock this morning, I started getting my nervous farts, and I've been for 3 poos. But clearly, it's all ready, man. It's all in there. We're all in.
Nice.
We're all in.
Nice, guys. All right. Well, listen, guys, welcome everyone in the chat as well. Appreciate you all joining us wherever you are. As Brian said, wherever you are in the world, whether you're in the UK or in North America or somewhere maybe further east where it's a little bit more generous with the timing today. But let's take you through everything that we need to know about the game. The game obviously starts at 12:30. The kickoff from the Emirates Stadium. Not a fantastic place for us traditionally, but the head-to-head stats are as follows. Been a lot of games, guys, over the years, as I'm sure you know. Matches played, 191. Arsenal have been the victor in 79 of those. There have been 51 draws, and Tottenham have come away with 61 victories. The referee in charge of today's game is quite an interesting one. So the man tasked with keeping a lid on both teams will be none other than Anthony Taylor, who will make it a hat-trick of North London derbies. Taylor has enjoyed a steady start to the 2023 campaign. He's refereed 9 matches, showing 32 yellow cards and a single red.
Which should have been 2. Which should have been 2.
Yeah.
Well, Taylor has taken charge of Arsenal and Tottenham once this season with contrasting fortunes. He took over Gunners on the opening day of the season in the 2-0 win over Crystal Palace. And the weekend after that, he was handed the all-London affair to see Tottenham at Chelsea. That clash didn't go without incident, as you can remember. Taylor probably should have maybe sent off Christian Romero for a violent conduct on Mark Cucurella. But on top of that, he obviously sent off Thomas Tuchel and Antonio Conte in the melee after the game. I think the Conte red card was rescinded after the final, afterwards. But it's going to be spicy. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Arteta and Conte have a little word with each other and try and spice it up. Last thing I'll say before I get into the boys and their thoughts on the game is Tottenham haven't won at the Emirates for 12 years. The last time I think we won there was on the 20th of November 2010, guys, when we had Gareth Bale, Van der Vaart, and Yunus Kabul, who got the winner late on in the 86th minute. So it's been a while. We're long overdue a victory. Bobby, I'm going to start with you, mate. Straight out of the gate, right? How important is this game today for both teams' ambitions this season? It's obviously a 6-pointer, but does the result challenge, influence the title challenge if there is one?
No,
or is it more about the local thing?
I don't think even Man City then consider themselves in a title race right now. First of all, Vinny, we'll get you the starting lineup in about 19 minutes, mate. So stay tuned. We'll give that live to you. But I think it's important. Yeah, of course, we want to carry on our unbeaten run. But I think more importantly, we need to bring Arsenal fans down a peg or two, for me. Spurs winning, I'll predict a 4-1 win every week, as you know. But I think they need to be show a bit of realism. They're not as good as they think they are. You know, they came up with one goodish team. Man United were going for the mire when they played them and they beat them. Yeah, Arsenal missed a few chances, but hey, you play a good team, they're going to create chances. So I think Spurs winning, of course, we always hope for that. But I think I said this towards the end of last season when we beat them 3-0. I said it continuously. Do not underestimate the effect it will have mentally on this young Arsenal side. And I think if we go there and get a result, I think it will.
100%.
Yeah, there'll be a bit of a realisation for them. It will certainly be a bit of a reality check. And I think that's what they need. And it comes from Spurs, even better.
But just while Brian's getting himself relocated.
I'm all good. I just had to leave because a guy has decided this is the time to put the leaf blower all over the Scotland Yard. Because that's what we need. Take
your trousers with you. Take your trousers with you, mate.
Don't forget your trousers.
So, I'll be standing just across the road until the leaf blower's done his thing.
Nice. Nice. Well, Brian, let me come to you then, mate. Just on the back of what Bobby was just talking about there, the mental aspect, right? The pressure on this young Arsenal team and what we can take away from it. But to add on to that, how much of a mental aspect is added to the game because of the consequences of the last North London derby? You know, the last time out, I know it was at White Hart Lane or the Tottenham Stadium, but we absolutely smashed them. And that was the catalyst for them to go on with their hearts broken and their crestfallen to then give up the Champions League and the abuse that they took from everyone across the footballing world all summer. Is there added spice to this particular game for them to get vengeance from it? Or is it just another North London derby?
You know what? You know, you say this, Sean, the mental, I mean, Antonio Conte, I am hoping, is grilling them because of the... Bob and I, unfortunately, went to watch the corresponding fixture in Camden, not realising or remembering that it's deep Arsenal country. And there was like this pub, we just kept seeing red everywhere we went. It was like, oh my God, what have we done?
Yeah.
And literally, we were in a corner, we took a big table, and we were the only ones that weren't Arsenal. And I think not just me and Bob, I think all Spurs fans will say that is probably the worst performance in a North London derby
From
I
a
have
team.
seen in my lifetime, especially that first half.
Good chicken wings, though. Good chicken wings, wasn't
Yeah, oh, mate, the good chicken wings and the pizza. But yeah, forget the last game at home. They need to show a bit of pride and a bit of respect for what they put out last time. It was horrific. And I think you want to talk mental aspect. If we win this game, and please God we will,
Yeah.
the confidence and the mental boost this is going to give the team, the belief, the confidence that, you know what, this team together we can do something is mate, this fucking spotlight. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, to me,
Now you look like you're in a prison cell. It's lovely.
yeah,
it?
mate. But I won't go on there. But that to me is the most important thing. Obviously, we're riding on a high because the last one we did win, but we are notoriously bad here. Notoriously bad. And it needs to change. And going into this game, do I think it's going to happen? I've got 2 words for you. Antonio Conte.
It's the last time that he's unbeaten against Mikel Arteta.
Yeah.
Right? He's never lost to Mikel. He's got a
Yeah,
1-1
but the thing
record.
is, he's never won at the Emirates either.
No.
That's the other side to the coin, unfortunately.
That doesn't matter. We're not going to worry about that one. We're going to worry about the fact that he's got the mental fortitude above on the recent history. Do you think though that the weight of this game in terms of like the previous North London derby, how much they lost on the back of it? Do you think that there's any shift in tactics, Bobby, as a consequence to the magnitude of the game? Do you think Arteta's looking at it and thinking we have to go and like prove a point and smash them? And do you think maybe Conte is sitting there thinking Arsenal are going to come prepared in the first half and we need to sort of hunker down, batten down the hatches and just ride it out, sustain that kind of early onslaught as a consequence of, in no small part, what happened in April?
I think we all know that Arsenal want to prove a point. The fans are going to be up for it, and they do make it a bit of a cauldron. But with regards to changes, I think we've all been going on about it this week, haven't we? You know, do we play 3 in midfield? I've said that the only way I'd play Kulusevski in at right wing back. I'm sure we'll go on to.
Yeah, we'll talk about the formations in a second.
But I don't care, and I think Iggy said it in his Good Morning Tottenham Away video this morning. It all goes out the window, man. It really does. I think we need to play a formation. We need to be clever. That's Conte's job. We need to put the right personnel out. That's all Conte's job. The job. But it's a performance. Man, we've started against Arsenal at the Emirates with going in on a good run and a good formation, a stable formation, and we've just fucked it up. We just hope whatever Conte does today, it's down to the players. The players have played the occasion, not the game, so many times. And irrelevant of formation, irrelevant of players to an extent. I just hope we show up and show them how we can play.
I love it. I'm going to move right now swiftly. It's a great little transition, Bobby. You're leaning me into my next questions very smoothly so far. So I want to start with the injury news, right? And there's not a lot really we can talk about because both managers have kept quite mum about that. But in terms of Conte thus far, he's given away nothing in the presser at all. For me personally, well, I'm going to come to that in a second. But it looks as though, for what it's worth, we've got late fitness tests, or we could potentially be without. I'm going to name the names: Hugo Lloris, Ben Davies, Dejan Kulusevski are the 3 major players that Tottenham are without. We might be with Lucas Moura might be back. Oliver Skipp does look like he's back and fit, ready for contention. So we potentially have lost a couple of big ones. We're going to talk about them specifically in a second. Arsenal look to be fully fit, apart from Emil Smith-Rowe, who has undergone surgery this week. And I think El Neni is the only other long-term absentee. Zinchenko, who has been out for a while, is apparently back from his calf injury. And there's also possible and likelihoods that the likes of Odegaard, Thomas Partey, Tierney, and Suarez will all be back available again. Let's take Tottenham. We're not really worried about Arsenal too much. Let's take Tottenham on this one, Brian. Do you think we'll start with the goalkeeper, and we'll find out obviously in about 12 minutes' time if Hugo Lloris is out and Fraser Foster's going to be given his home debut or his away debut, his full first team debut for Tottenham? Do you think he's the sort of character that can step up and grab the ball by the horns and thrive under the pressure, or do you think it's a bit of a nightmare waiting to happen potentially?
Well, I've said that for anyone, I can't think of a worse game to make your debut. I honestly can't. Away at the filth. Don't get me wrong. You could have a Danny Rose moment and be absolutely incredible, but that was on our ground. This is a great. I mean, people will remember when we signed Hugo. Brad Friedel was on a run of God knows how many consecutive games, and AVB just put him in to make his debut in this game, and we got battered 5-2. With this, Fraser, thankfully, what we can say about Fraser Foster is he's certainly better than Galini. He's certainly better than Joe Hart.
Yeah.
He's certainly better than Gazzaniga. He's certainly better than a lot of the substitute keepers we've had. And he's one of those, like Didier Drogba, that always scored against them. Fraser Foster seems to play out of his skin against them. Because the concern for me with Foster, if he does start, isn't so much his ability in goal. It's has he got that communication and understanding with the central defenders, which is obviously a vital part of his position. And it's a ground where if you have a good game on your debut for Spurs, you're a hero, and if you don't, the knives are out. But I'm fully confident if it is him, he will be able to put a shift. If you say who would you rather, Galini, the goalkeepers on the list, I think everyone is going to say Fraser Foster, but obviously Hugo is the one we want to see. But I think this is the most obvious. If he ain't fit, it's him. We've got to deal with it. And you know what, like I said, over many years we've wanted a decent backup to say, I'm confident in what he can do, and Fraser's one of them. So if it is him, it's not too much of a blow for me. But I would or it is a blow because I'd love Hugo, but it's not a huge blow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me personally, I think he's the sort of character. I remember him at Southampton, absolutely berating his backline when he is an organizer, especially at corner kicks. He's a big, towering presence, and I even remember him in the preseason friendlies having a right crack at Romero and Eric Dyer at times, which I thought was fantastic to see. So listen, obviously, I'm with you on this one, Brian. That if you had your choice, of course you take Hugo, but I don't feel. Like I've still got confidence. Can
I just drop a bombshell very quickly, Sean? I'm getting things being told to me that apparently he's going 3-4-3.
Okay, we'll find out in about 9 minutes' time. That's not what I wanted to hear, to be honest. Bobby, I don't know if you've got anything more to add on Fraser, but otherwise I can, because we're short on time, I can move on to the big one, the big hitter that might not be available, that's 50-50. I'm seeing people saying that he has travelled to the game, but I'm not entirely sure if that means much because for every game this season, we've had players on the bench that haven't been fit. But Deki Kulusevski, how much of a miss is he if he's 50-50 and can only play 20 minutes at the end of the game or not at all? What sort of impact is that going to have on Tottenham's chances for the game?
Yeah, first of all, on Forster, I'm comfortable. Big game player. He's done it. He's been there. He's got experience. So no worries there. The question if he's as good as Lloris is, we don't know yet in a Spurs shirt. With regards to Zeki, fortunately, we're in that position where we do have an in-form Richarlison. Harry Kane will score goals regardless. And Sonny on the up, obviously, since Leicester game and doing well for South Korea. Yeah. So we are okay starting-wise. The unfortunate position we'd be in if Kulusevski isn't fit is options, mate. Options off the bench. We don't have that. If Lucas is fit, maybe, but he's no Kulusevski. So it just limits our options without one of the front three. And I suppose that's reflective of the quality has certainly been bettered in the summer, but the depth hasn't. So I'd want Kulusevski to be fit. Would I want him to start? Whoever I'm comfortable with, whichever front three start. It's if things go a bit haywire, we need that extra option. We don't have it. Yeah.
Well, and on that then, let's slightly shift the conversation now, but we've got 7 minutes to discuss it before we know for a fact. But for me, one of the thoughts I had was that it almost takes away the headache. If you don't have Deki, for me, I think it makes the choice of going to a 3-5-2. And for me, 3-5-2 was the right option anyway, even though we're probably playing mainly in a 5-4-1. And I do take what you're saying on board, Bobby, that kind of formations go out the window a little bit on the big games. But for me, I thought that if you didn't have Deki, then it would make more sense to have that option off the bench in Richarlison later on in the game if we're still in touching distance. Whereas if you're playing the front three as they are, and it's Richarlison, Sonny, and Kane in a 3-4-3, not only do we have the problem of having to try and battle that midfield, our two against a three-man midfield of Arsenal that includes Thomas Partey and Xhaka that are, and Odegaard that are, very, very competent players. That for me, I thought the 3-5-2 with Decky out injured it took away the option of going to 3-4-3, and the 3-5-2 with Bissouma or Skippy alongside Bentancur and Højbjerg just made the most sense for so many reasons about the battling the midfield, having an option off the bench, keeping us tight in the first half. And Bobby, I'll stay with you on this one. Like, do you agree with my God? Do you concur with what I'm saying, or do you think it doesn't matter?
Be it Richarlison on the bench, Sonny on the bench, Kane's not going to be on the bench, but Decky on the bench. The extra personnel just gives up the option, and one of them being unfit takes away that option. I think I know what you're saying. It makes it easier. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be a Sonny coming on to prove a point and scoring a hat-trick in 12 and a half minutes. I want Decky to come on when he was dropped against, ironically, against Leicester last season at home when we played Lucas. Lucas couldn't pass a fucking ball in that game. Decky came on in the last 30 minutes, nearly became man of the match. So we want that. We want them impact. So I know what you're saying. Yeah, it kind of takes a headache away. But I'm sure there's certain times you do want that headache. And I want that headache of the players on the pitch thinking we've got to do it right because we've got a Decky.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's a good point as well.
I want all four to be fit. But, I mean, again, formation goes out the window. Of course, it's going to start with a formation. As I'm going to say, check it out. But I think during the game, sometimes when we play the occasion, and we have done, we just seem to go a bit haywire and all over the place. And I think if we keep the shape, as much as we don't want that 3-4-3, I think we've got a better chance. So let's just hope it works out. Yeah.
And you, Brian, if even in a world where all four of the front men were fit and Lucas Moura as well, just ideal scenario. Obviously, it's probably not the case, but ideal scenario. Was the 3-4-3 the angle that you would like to have seen us go with 3 of the 4 on the pitch, or did you want to see 3-5-2 from the get-go?
Oh no, did I want to see 3-4-3? I've been saying all week. Forget all the other games, and we may play 3-5-2 in more games in the future. I can't remember a time where we've gone to the Emirates and we haven't been overrun in midfield, or we haven't been they haven't overloaded us. And I'll go back to the game like last season. Don't know what Bye and Delhi and what they were doing in the first half. The Lamella goal with the Rabona, Emil Smith Rowe was just allowed to roam the. We're constantly in this game overrunning midfield, and for this game, and we're with the magnitude of it, and then where we both are in the league and are unbeaten. This game for me was crying out for 3-5-2 and just match them in midfield, or maybe overload on them and take that sting out of their towel. I said if we go 3-5-2, I'm very confident that we'll win. And I said if we go 3-4-3,
you're confident we'll lose.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned. But listen,
I feel the same.
When you got to look at it, this is why Antonio Conte gets paid the big bucks. But the only thing I will say with it, if he goes 3-4-3. Against Leicester, when he changed to the 3-5-2, it was 2-2. We were at home. It was a good time to change it and say, right, we need something different. This game, if we go out 3-4-3 and we start like we have done, and Arsenal get off to a fast start, changing to that 3-5-2, it might come too late. You know what I mean? We might change to it in the second half and could be a couple of goals down with it. But on the other flip, we could absolutely storm it. You never know Tottenham's going to turn up, but I will be very disappointed if we turn out and it is 3-4-3.
Well, we'll know in a couple of minutes. And
people are saying that the teams are out. I can't find them on the official.
Officially, it's not out. Officially, it's not out.
We'll wait for the officials just in case people are playing silly beggars. In the next couple of minutes before we get there, I did want to touch on something that Bobby brought up a minute ago, and I'll start with you again, Bobby, on this one. The international break has been fairly successful for most of the players in the Tottenham team. For the fact that Richarlison scored a couple of goals for Brazil. Sonny scored a couple of goals, and the free kick obviously was amazing. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg put in just the world class shifts for his team as well. Do you think that there's a lot to take away from that? Do you think international form carries over into confidence for the players, or do you think it's kind of just a whole separate issue that they shouldn't be looked on too highly?
I look at the game, Sean. Like I say, you know what? If it was any other game, maybe. But the fact it is Arsenal away, and the last 12 years will say to us it is irrelevant to an extent. We've gone in top form, international form, but I just think it's the build-up that's been a bit subdued, understandably.
Yeah.
Like I said, it is earlier in the season, and the fact that we have had an international break, so it helps. Richarlison firing from all cylinders. He seems to have really taken on, the confidence that is what he's had from the international to his club form and back into hopefully today. So, but I've got the starting lineup if you want to hear it. Yeah,
is it on Twitter?
It is, mate. Yeah, from Spurs official. Lloris.
Here we go.
Thank God, that's one good thing straight away.
Lloris is fit. Royale, Romero, Dyer, Longley, Perisic, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Richarlison, Sonny, and Kane.
So 3-4-3.
3-4-3.
Let's have a look at that. Let me get rid of that comment from Kyle. Big up, Kyle. Hope you're okay, my man.
Big up, KVP.
So, 3-4-3 indeed. Oh, why is my screen gone weird? What are your thoughts? Let's have a look at the substitutes as well. Fraser Foster, Sanchez, Doherty, Spence, Sessegnon, Bissouma, Skip, Sarr, and Bryant. So there is no Decky.
Brian Hill.
No Decky at all. Makes the bench. Decky's completely out. Romero there was a little bit of a fear about whether or not Romero was going to make it back because of his late, or whether he was going to be too jet lagged. He's one to watch in the game, so hopefully he's not going to be too tired. It's a 3-4-3, isn't it? Straight 3-4-3. But I'd imagine that Kane's going to drop deep. Obviously, I think I know your thoughts. So you're Brian, I'll start with you, my man. Are you frustrated with that one?
Yeah, I can't lie. I've been saying I can't be saying I wanted 3-5-2, 3-5-2, and then say, oh, brilliant. We're going. We'll see what Arsenal have pulled up, and then.
Well, I've got the Arsenal lineup as well.
Let's see what they've got, and then we can.
So they've got Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli.
So they've gone 3 in midfield. Oh, this is exactly. Oh man.
So Gabriel. So White's playing right back. Saliba and Gabriel at the centre backs. Zinchenko's fit again left back. They've got basically a full strength team there. Apart from.
Let's see. Well, first of all, my shirt is on very, very big duty today. It really needs to put. Listen, they've done it again. They're going 3 in midfield. Listen, hopefully, like we said, going into this, Antonio Conte is the big difference. He is the big difference, and hopefully, these players are up for. I'm not happy with the bench as well. It just shows our lack of. I think half of them are defenders, aren't they? This is the point that just gets to me and annoys me. It's not the lineup. I can't hide my frustration right now. I mean, hopefully Antonio Conte proves me wrong, and the 3-4-3 is an inspired move, or he could even turn to 3-5-2 later in the game and bring Bissouma on, and that could change it. I wanted to see the 3-5-2, and I wanted Richarlison on the bench so he could come on and just. We've got
no options. We have 0 attacking options. That's why you should have gone 3-5-2, in my opinion, because at least you have somewhere to go if the game's not going well. Right now, if that game starts and we get overrun in the first half, then what do? You can only go to a 3-5-2 and hope that you can plug the goals and hope it makes a difference. But I think you needed to start the game a little bit more steady, Eddie, and get into half time.
I wouldn't be surprised if Kane comes deeper, a bit more often than he normally would. I think the fact that Arsenal playing 4 at the back, Richarlison and Sonny, I think will take advantage of the fact that White is at right back.
Yeah.
And with Kane hopefully coming in midfield, which I don't agree with, by the way.
I'm with you. I'm completely with you.
Yeah, I don't know why we'd put the best striker in my eyes in the world. Yes, even Haaland, in midfield to as a stopgap. I don't understand why, but when you stand back, look at the bigger picture. If you want that attacking intent in midfield, unfortunately, Harry Kane's likely to bring that more than anyone else, any other midfielder we've got. So hopefully we'll play a bit clever. Again, we don't play the occasion, and Kane comes a bit deep too. So we aren't outnumbered. What we can do is outnumber them up front, especially if if White goes a bit.
If I was playing for Arsenal, mate, trust me, I'd be the 12th man. I'd be the 12th man for them, trust me. But but Bob, you know what it is with Kane in midfield as well? If it was any other game, any other stadium, fine. But like we said, and like we've seen, that we get overrun in midfield every time. I just wanted Basuma in there with Højbjerg and with Bentancur, even Skip, just to lock down that midfield and say, right, you're not getting past us. You ain't having the freedom of the Emirates just to do what you do. We are going to be like absolute Rottweilers around you, and you ain't getting a second on the ball. And as good as Kane is when he drops back and does what he does, he doesn't offer that defensive or that steel or that solidity. And that's the big concern for me. Don't get me wrong, Kane could have one of his masterclasses. It could be inspired.
He will be. He'll be at his best today, and Sonny will be at the best as well. And we only need the good thing about Tottenham is when you've got Sonny and Kane firing, and if they are firing, you only need 2 or 3 chances to get a goal,
True.
right? So, I just think one of the things that I hope that the team are aware of is the way that Arsenal do approach the ball, approach their offensive. They do overload on the side and try to draw players across. And so, if we can get the ball back, I do want to see. I don't necessarily want to see the 3 of them staying static in their own channels, because if we get the ball, if we recover the ball on our left, like where Sessegnon is, then for me the most amount of space will be on the right hand flank down into the corner, and I'd rather Son be charging down that channel than Richarlison, because Richarlison doesn't have the, for me the same kind of technicals or the same competence. So I hope that Tottenham are aware that when they do recover the ball, to be looking on the opposite side, because of the way Arsenal kind of draw everybody across. And the same would happen on the other side. And I do think we've got a good chance for Ben White, for Sonny against Ben White, or for Harry Kane against Ben White. But it's going to require the midfield too. Like Højbjerg and Bentancur are going to have the game of their lives to be able to compete with Odegaard, Xhaka, and maybe you need Romero or someone to kind of put one on Xhaka early, get him riled up, get him to do something silly and get sent off. There's always a red card maybe in there. But for me, just my take on it, I've said it before, I think that the key to getting away with this game undefeated was to still be in the game at the hour mark, and then to have a plan B, have something that you could shift into the next gear with. And I don't think that this formation offers us that. I think at best we're going to try and get an early goal and then hang on to it and then go kind of more defensive in the second half. But that doesn't really suit the way Tottenham play.
Well, sure. The other thing as well, and I just wanted to add this because you were talking about international. What you've got to look at as well is, like Bob said, will they have the buzz of doing well for their countries? But the more concerning thing for me is we have Richarlison coming back from Brazil. We have Son coming back from Korea. We have
Romero from Argentina.
Romero coming back from, whereas Arsenal have had their players. Obviously, Jesus, funnily enough, went in the squad. Shame. They haven't had any players really that have had to travel far for international duties. There isn't that long flying time and getting in at late they did. And I just want to say, I've just seen him WhatsApp me. There's someone he's up and he's on his way to the Scotland Yard. A very, very good friend of mine, Tom, whose birthday it is tomorrow. And he's got he's got the NLD the day before his birthday. And anyone who else has got their birthdays on the NLD, I can't think of anything worse. If you win, it's the greatest day of your life. If you lose, it's like, oh, gosh, that's my birthday ruined for the year. But Tom, I'll see you soon, brother, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Tom. I'll tell you what, Bobby, I have not seen a chat more despondent than it looks right now. Everybody's really concerned with this. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out ways to be positive. The game hasn't even started yet.
Oh man, you know what I'm going to say, Sean? Everyone needs to get a fucking grip, man. We've not even played the game yet. You know what I mean? You're throwing in the towel. I mean, it's like a boxer coming to the ring, but he's saying, no, he ain't going to bother. Here's the white.
Don't throw the towel yet.
Yeah, a grip. Yes, it's not been good, but there's Conte. We've got the best left-sided attacker in the world. We got Harry Kane. We got an informed Richarlison.
Yeah.
We've got Romero. We've got Hugo, who I think is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. We've got an elite fucking manager. Matt Conte, Arteta. Get a grip, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's been many games where we've questioned the lineup, questioned what's going to happen, questioned how we've played, but we've come away from it this season with a positive result. We're unbeaten, man. There's a reason we're unbeaten. All this stuff about, oh, if they scored a goal, they would have won. Well, if we'd scored all our goals, we're the second highest team who've got shots on goal this season. If we'd scored every goal that we've had, we'd be whatever points clear at the top of the league. So, you know, put the negative to one side, go in, get that same mental energy, positivity that we took into the White Hart Lane game. And I tell you, that got the players over the line. This despondent, whatever, I'm not even going to bother watching it anymore. All this bullshit is coming out. Get a grip.
That part's nonsense. What I will say with that, Bob, though, is if it had been this lineup at Tottenham, I think everyone is exactly on the flip side. Like, yep, it's Tottenham, don't care. Yeah. It's the fact that it's here. It's the fact that, like I said, and like people have been saying, every time we go there, we're overrunning midfield. And that's just a fact. That's been Poch, that's been Mourinho, that's been Nuno, that's been AVB, that's been Yol, that's been Redknapp. But like you said, there's two words that are different to everything else, and those two words are Antonio and Conte.
And there's more reasons to be positive than that, and I'm going to try and find a couple. And I want you guys to chime in.
Sean, just one thing before it goes off. Maverick, I agree with you, mate. Yes, Bob, we have not played anyone as good as Arsenal. Chelsea's an argument, but Arsenal have not played anyone as good as us. And if you say Man United, I'm going to slap your little bottom. It's they've not. So bring balance, man. Bring balance to a narrative.
Yeah, like so my immediate reaction was just natural. Like, you just as soon as you see it, you go, it wasn't what I was looking for. Yeah. But listen, guys, there are reasons to be positive. Arsenal play a super high line. They only have one way of playing at the moment. It's plan A. If plan A doesn't work, they have no plan B. And Tottenham are at our best. Whether we've gone away at Manchester City, we've gone away at Liverpool, we've gone away last season, and this season we've done it at Chelsea. Okay, Chelsea wasn't a great performance, but we figured a way out to do it. But at Manchester City and at Liverpool, where they do the exact same kind of high line, high energy stuff, Tottenham, all you need is a few opportunities. And against the likes of Zinchenko, who's on his way back from injury, I think Perisic can have a whole lot of support, a whole lot of good stuff down the right-hand side. You got Sonny down the left. If we can get the ball back, and I take it on board the fact that the midfield is going to be a difficult battle all day. But if you're not going to score a goal from the midfield. No one's scoring from the 40th yard line. And Tottenham have a very, very difficult. Like, it's a heavy door to unlock. Tottenham's back three. We don't concede that many goals. Most of the time, we are giving away shots. I've heard other channels on neutral channels talking, not Spurs show, but neutral channels talking about Tottenham conceding so many shots against us that we're just not that good. But actually, if you look at the detail and the data, and no one ever looks into that, those shots are coming from 25, 26 yards out. And it's a lot of block shots as well. So if we can just recover the ball, be first to the breakdown, when the midfield come forward, and we are going to have to hunker down, we are going to expect it to be 70% Arsenal possession, but we don't need 70% to win games. We need 3-4 opportunities. And if Arsenal do the high line and the midfielders can do their job, or better yet, if Sessegnon and the likes of Romero can do their job at kind of getting in there and picking the pocket of the forward lines for Arsenal, then we've got three players up front that can turn it and burn pace and are so much better than Ben White, Zinchenko, or Gabriel. So I know Saliba's a very good player, so it'll be interesting to see how we compete with them. But I want to apologise for coming out a little bit negative. It was like an initial reaction, but actually, no, there are reasons to think we can do this, guys. And we have to Bobby's point, we have to go in with the right energy and give the team a lift. I'll give you
another two reasons actually as well. First of all, with that front three, if Longlay's passing is on point, and he is the best passer out of the three of them, even though Romero is good, one ball over the top, and if he gets it to Son or Richarlison, that could be sprung, and it could be that is a thing to look at.
Set pieces as well, they ain't that great in the air, right? And we've got Perisic, we've got Villa doing the set piece stuff. I think we could nick a goal from a corner very easily with the Perisic. I think that's part of the reason why Perisic has to play today on the right-hand side, because of his ability to nick goals from the corner stuff that he's doing. There's lots of reasons. There's lots of ability for us to get opportunities in this game.
Well, the other thing I was going to touch on, you mentioned it. Listen, Saliba has been a revelation this season for them. He's been a breath of fresh air. There's no doubt he has had some very, very good performances. But let's face it, he's never played in a North London derby. And when he's been in France, I don't care what derby you're playing, there is nothing that comes close to the intensity of Spurs Arsenal. Does he have a good game? It doesn't matter. I mean, you look at it last season, is it Gabriel that's playing alongside him?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, Gabriel was destroyed. I mean, Holding being sent off didn't help, but it may not even be Saliba that we target. We may say, right, Saliba's on fire. Just try and go through. Just try and eliminate him and go through Gabriel, and we know we got the best of him. But Longley, if his passing is on,
Zinchenko can get turned on Zinchenko's. He's a DM. Typically he's a defensive midfielder. I know he's a bit of a utility player, but I don't think he's mastered the art of defense. But he got turned quite a lot against Fulham. I think that he's a player that we could attack. Like if Richarlison gets down that side as well and goes at him. Listen, I think we've got loads of options going forward. I just think it's about how much we can get the ball back off Arsenal and then how clinical. There's no excuses today. If our long ball distribution is poor, then we're in trouble. But if you've got Longley, who's got a 94%, whatever it is, long ball accuracy over the last 3 years, some insane statistic that I can't remember right now. Him and Romero being able to pepper balls when we get the ball back at pace, first time balls into the box, into the channels, then like I say, all we need is 3, 4, 5 chances and we can get a couple of goals and then Arsenal will crumble.
I'm also loving the other. Let's go ultra positive. We've had the ultra low. Let's end this on ultra positive. Let's face it. If Son was able to wind up Holding, I think there's one thing we can guarantee: Richarlison is a billion times the wind-up merchant human Son ever will be.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of reason I wanted him to come off the bench, because if there was an Arsenal player on a yellow card, he can just go, right, I'm going to be on you like your shadow and wind him up and force him into a challenge. He's going to do it earlier. And also, we've got to remember, Richarlison has a phenomenal record against Arsenal, as does Son and Kane.
Yeah.
He has and Bob will tell you best about Boo Boo, won't you, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, he's been a revelation. Me and Sean have had many chats about Richarlison before and I could understand why people were a bit apprehensive. Hey, listen, he still hasn't done anything. Let's be honest. Yeah. He's not won us, he's not taken us over the line, and that's what I want the new Spurs players. Has he added a different dimension, a different mindset? 100%. And that's what I was confident about. I still stick by my prediction, and I think me and you, Sean, have had a bet of 15 goals and 5 assists.
Yeah,
and 50. Whoever loses, 50 quid goes towards the NHS.
Yep.
I'm sure it is. If not,
it's fine. Yeah,
15 goals, 5 assists, I believe is going to be out there. But there is this fashionable thing of not giving credit to Spurs, some of the Spurs players, where it's due. Dissing Højbjerg seems to be the in thing.
Yeah.
I think it's been great this season. I really do. Bentancur.
Højbjerg's been superb this season.
He's been really, really good. Richarlison has made a difference. The whole £60 million, you know my views on that? To me, it's irrelevant. Sonny, he hasn't been great, but he is still considered the best left wing back. And people want to shit on Kane. Kane knows he's not been the best.
Yeah.
But his second top goal scorer, he'll get you goals. I think Dyer's been okay. He's had a couple of iffy moments, but all round, it's been great. And I'm not going to go there with Emerson. That's a different story. But
he spent $1 million. The guy spent £1 million on trying to improve himself. Like, he might not be the best player in the world, but you can't.
But he's got heart.
He's got a lot of heart, and that ambition that he's showing. Spending $850,000 on some chambers in his house and doing the things he's doing.
I'll be asking for a refund right now because it's done fuck all.
Hey, listen. No, I've always said, regardless of what I think of Emerson as a player, as soon as he puts that Spurs shirt on, he got like name.
Back him.
I'll back him 100. I want him to be the best right wing back. His quality comes into question, rightfully so at times, but there's got to be a balance, man. There's got to be a balance, and 100%. He's one of our own right now, like it or not. He's one of our own.
Not last couple. I've got a few more questions for you, boys. Something else to be positive about, right? Arsenal haven't not conceded at home. They've conceded every single home game. So if the trend continues, Tottenham should be able to get a goal or two today, which is a positive thing. And one of the mechanisms in which we can get that, if Conte has decided to relieve a certain person of his certain duties when it comes to free kicks, we have somebody else who's proven time and time again when he's got the opportunity, he's capable. Is there any doubt in your mind right now? Conte said when he was asked about it, has Harry Kane been relieved of his duties? Conte said in the presser, well, we've got 3 free kick specialists. We've got Eric Dyer, Harry Kane, and Sonny. But is that just his way of being delicate to Harry Kane's sensitivities? But in reality, he's saying,
"You're shit."
It's got to be Sonny from now on, though, hasn't it, Bobby?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's kind of hypocritical because we've just said, the international form doesn't have any relevance, but it does when you are, having great free kicks and scoring from free kicks and international and doing it on a consistent level. I think it's become an in-joke now, even amongst pundits and neutral YouTube channels that Harry Kane just can't score a free kick. 2 that he scored are both heavily deflected. Yeah. So, no, I think, and I don't put Perisic out of that as well. I think Perisic would do great as well. But yeah, I think Kane, let someone else take over for a bit. I've seen Richarlison take some good ones as well, man, for Everton. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I just think if we get one in the 24, like in the 23, 24 yard, like somewhere around the edge of the 18-yard box, I mean, if I see Harry Kane push Sonny away, that's gonna upset me because I feel like you have to shake hands with the truth at some points, and Harry Kane needs the ball to be moving for him to strike it correctly. Yeah. I just want to ask you how much time we got. Before I get there, we've got 10 minutes. But guys, there's 1,000 people watching. Big up everyone. I haven't asked you yet. If you haven't already, do the boys at the We Are Tottenham TV a massive favour and smash that like button if you think we're going to win. Smash that like button if you think we're going to draw. And smash that like button if you think the worst is going to happen. But either way, make sure every one of you is smashing that like button with the energy that you want Tottenham to demonstrate this afternoon. Guys, I do want to ask you this. We have got a game against Frankfurt in about 80 hours' time away from home. Right, it's a big game, massive game as well, right? The Champions League, we wanted top 4. We want to be in the Champions League. We have to do well in it. Do you think that any part of the tactics that have been employed from the start, or that would be employed going into the game or throughout the game, by Conte, has got in the back of his mind Frankfurt, and considering that that's just around the corner, and how important a game that is as well?
It's Brighton away after that, isn't it?
And Brighton away on the Saturday after that as well.
Yeah. So I think, I said confidently that we should be looking at 6 wins out of 6. With the teams we're up against, we had our worst performance against Sporting. We just couldn't get it together. I think we'll see changes against Frankfurt. They're a good team, but they've done shit this season. They've been poor this season, especially in the Champions League. So I think we'll play it out as today. I think there'll be changes made against Frankfurt with Brighton in mind.
Really? Oh, okay.
Good morning.
You think Conte's going to prioritise Brighton over Frankfurt? He does.
I hope he does. I hope he does. But I think we should have enough quality against an underperforming Frankfurt team. A draw would do, but I'll stick by the fact we should have won we should be winning. We should be looking at that group and winning every single game. The fact we didn't do it against Sporting. Yeah, but we'll have a Lucas back by then. Skippy might get a game. Kulusevski, hopefully.
We don't know about Decky. Obviously, if he's not even in the squad at all today, then his injury is clearly significant enough that he's not even consideration. Brian, what about you, my man? Do you think that we should have one eye on Frankfurt or one eye on Brighton?
I do, and I think Antonio Conte really does as well, because you got to remember, people are talking about his record in Europe, and he's fully aware of it. Listen, it's a double header against Frankfurt now. Regardless of whether they're on form or not, it's the Europa Cup winners. Going to Germany, that is not going to be a pleasant experience for us. The atmosphere there that they generate. I think we need to take maximum points in this double header against Frankfurt, and then it's kind of, we just need one more result and we're through. If we get one more defeat in the Champions League or not good result, it puts our our qualification in a bit of doubt, and I think we have to come out and get at least the away game done. But it's not just that now. We know all October and November, there is a ridiculous amount of games. And you look at it again, you come back to this.
It's like 13 games in 45 days or something silly.
Yeah, do you know, it's more intense than what the Christmas period normally is, and obviously because of the bloody World Cup. And Conte right now is going to have to, right now he's got to be thinking like 2-3 games ahead. All right, this is what I want as my starting lineup. This is how I'm going to do it. And have it in mind, barring injuries. I think he has got one. I think he's got more than one eye on Frankfurt. Brighton, we'll see how they do this time if they get the new manager bounce. Because obviously we don't know what this new manager is going to be doing there. They've been playing some terrific stuff under Potter, which obviously is no longer. But yeah, I think he has he is really looking at Frankfurt a lot more than he is Brighton. I like Bob says, but the only reason I'm saying that as well is because of his poor record in Europe, and we've got to make sure we pick up points quick, because after that humiliating defeat against Lisbon, another drop point game is going to put us in a lot of
100%. And obviously, the last thing I forgot to mention is not about Tottenham, not about the game today, guys. But the last question I have before we go to your score predictions and I'll let you plug your channels, obviously, is Conte's like mentioning to the press about in the first part of the press conference or earlier on in the week, he said about his future. He said it was disrespectful to be talking about his future and Allegri's future when it came to the Juventus job. And he mentioned he was happy and he had a great relationship with Daniel and Fabio. In the embargoed press conference yesterday, or Thursday rather, he kind of tempered that down a little bit. He said that his relationship was superb with the players, but then he said when it came to, well, he just, in the same sentence, he said, and with Fabio and Daniel, it's okay. And
why do this to me?
And in terms of, I'm not trying to read anything into it. I'm just, he was asked whether or not the World Cup break is going to be a good time for him to sit down with the owners and figure out the contract. And once again, he insisted that it doesn't need to be done today or tomorrow. It can be done at any time. And if it's all good, if he's happy and he hears what he wants to hear from the owners, and the owners are happy, then there's no problem. But for me, there's a little bit of a difference in those two conversations. The first one sounded like it was all good, let's put it to bed. And the one yesterday sounded like, maybe not. And maybe that's because he knows how many injuries have cropped up in the last couple of days. And maybe he's reflecting on the fact that he's got a game against Arsenal today where his squad looks a little bit threadbare up front. So just wanted to get your thoughts on that quickly, Brian and Bobby. Start with you, Brian. Okay,
so for me, today is a day where I don't even want to think about that bloody prick, let alone talk about him. So I'll leave that part. But do you know what it is with Conte? You heard him, like you said, when he said about he's happy at Spurs, it's disrespectful. He seems, when he's talking about the team, when he's talking about his role, he seems happy. He seems happy. Obviously, there's backroom politics that goes on in every club, and as I know full well, the backroom politics with this ball. I think right now we've just got to. In all honesty, I wish all the talk about this bloody contract. I wish all the talk about what's going on at board level or the relationship. Just every time it gets mentioned, just Conte deflect it, go silent, say. Just until this World Cup comes, and just focus on, like you said, we said, the huge amount of games we got coming.
Yeah, focus on
against Spurs to where they need to be. That please God, come January, we're in the next round of the Champions League, not the Europa League, or even worse, not in Europe at all. Make sure that we have cemented ourselves in the top four when the World Cup comes. Focus on the pitch, focus on the players, and focus on getting birthday boys. Focus on getting everything you need.
Focus on birthday boy.
Yeah, but if he can focus on this, if Conte can focus on Tom, that would be brilliant.
Nice.
But yeah, so yeah, that's what I wish happens, that we just can say, do you know what? Just all this stuff about contracts, players coming in. As much as everyone knows, it frustrates the hell out of me when it comes to anything Levy. It just needs to be dropped. And if these questions come up, you know they're still that guy, and he's still there with Conte. That if they don't want to answer questions, they say we're not answering that, or they translate it to Conte. He should just step in and say, listen, we're going for the busiest schedule due to this World Cup that this club has ever seen. We need to focus on this. Appreciate the question. Go fish. Go fish.
Got it. Nice one, my man. And lastly, Bobby, your take on it. Do you want the same as Brian? Do you want it to be silenced until January at least and just shut up and focus on the here and now?
A bit of both, really, mate. Well, one thing I didn't like about Pochettino was how it was obvious Man United turned his head. Again, reasons, I believe, pointing, but that's a different. When Harry Redknapp was there, the England job was touted, and he never swayed away from the fact that he'd be flattered and all this. With Conte, all I want is my manager to be proud of managing my team, my club. And I want him to say, I'm Spurs manager. I want to be here. I love it here. Everything else is irrelevant. And that's all I want. That's all I want. Now, how he goes about saying it, I don't know. Does he have to say it? Do we have the right to hear that? We don't know. I personally want to hear it. But I understand why he wouldn't say that. That's all I want. I want him full throttle, fully in the Spurs job. And I just don't want it to drag on. So, I agree with Brian. It's sometimes it's best to not say it, but sometimes it's best to say something as well.
Love it, my man. Love it, my man. All right, we're going to finish up. Just before I do, I want to say big congratulations to Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Big up, my man.
What a name, nice. Mate. Enjoy your big day, and hopefully we'll get you in the right mood with a steady Eddie first half performance where we can look to celebrate. But mate, good luck today, and congratulations in advance, my man. Well done. All right, let's go to Brian first and foremost. What your score prediction and also what's happening on Tottenham on tour after today?
Well, Tottenham on tour should be doing a few bits this week. We apologise for not getting any content out recently. There's just a few personal things going on with us, mostly with me. So it's just put a kibosh on getting some content out regularly. But we will be back larger than life very, very soon. So you can find us at Tottenham on tour. I think we're about 15 away from hitting 5,000. So we're trying to hit that 5,000. It's taking a little while, but we're getting there. And score prediction. I said if it was a 3-5-2, we'll win, and I'll be concerned. I am concerned, but I can't on this day of days say we're going to lose. So I'm going for the same win that we got last time. We did 3-2 us.
Nice.
With a Son 90th minute free kick to win it.
That'll be amazing. I'll be well up for that, mate. Well up for that. And Bosper, thanks again, mate, for coming on. The same to you, Brian. Bobby, what's your prediction and what's happening on the channel?
4-1 Spurs. I think we need to go with that mental positivity, aggression from the players, but play the game. Play the game. And if it is boring, I think you said it as well, Sean, we need to be in the game after an hour. And if we have to play boring football to be in that game, so be it. Play the game. We seem to go a bit gung-ho and lose our heads in the last few performances against Arsenal, certainly last season. Yeah. So, but as always, 4-1. In the wall tonight, 10:45. We're back after a couple of weeks. The usual random shit. Obviously, looking back at the Premier League today. Guess the celebrity. We've got a couple other new bits coming into the show today. Random signs from around the world, mostly India, just random questions, and of course we'll have a certain game show being played as well. Look
forward to it, mate. I always love tuning in if I'm still awake after a boozy Saturday when the football's on.
Right, I can go in.
4-1 it is for Bobby. For me, guys, it's 2-2. I think it's going to be. I'm not changing regardless of the formation. I think that it's going to be a tough game, but I think if we can stay unbeaten, I'll take a draw all day long right now. Bite your hand off for a draw, and I think it'll be a good game. 2-2 open game. We just got to be patient and still be in the game. You can find me at the Spurs Talk Show, guys. I'm on the march to 4,000 now. And I'd love anyone who hasn't already to smash the subscribe button, like button.
I need to come on, Sean. I'm going for withdrawals, man. I've not been on.
Mate, I haven't done any live. I've been doing Tottenham walks every day, but I haven't been able to do any live streams. My work has been absolutely crazy for me, but I will do it real soon. Quick one, last super chat. First super chat of the day, actually, from Dara saying, "What's that smell?" Gabriel just shit himself.
Well done, Dara. Yeah,
well done, Dara. Great way to finish. All right, guys, that's it from us. I hope that was okay for your pre-match pump up. We're going to hand you over right now to the boys in the studio. I think it's Danny Kiriakou and Nick Collison, Rangitarino. And the last thing to say, boys, is on this massive North London derby is, come on.
Come on,
Spurs.
Come on.
See ya.